Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 127 of the High Sensitivity Podcast, and thank you for listening. If it's your first time here, we talk about video game and movie news as well as what we watched or played over the week. My name is Barry, along with my co hosts.
My name is Craig. I moved. New setup
Yeah.
behind me here. We're all set. I'm
Moving.
not officially put away, but I had to go with this first because this was the most important, obviously.
Yeah, it's the same name, but new set.
Yes, correct.
It looks nice. I really like it. My name's Craig as well. Same old set, but Craig, your digs are looking good for anybody who is watching. I really like that area right there. Looks real
More
good.
space.
Do people say I like your digs? I like your digs.
Not in the past 20 years.
Yeah, I heard that
Yes.
referred to like I like your digs as clothing, but never like where your where your crib is at.
I like your threads.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like your
threads.
threads.
That was close.
That's another
Like
one.
your crib.
Your crib is nice.
Your
Well,
crib is nice.
what you can always count on this podcast is the news, because that's always going to be here. So we have a jam-packed news this week, so let's get right into it. First off, we'll go off with kind of the freshest and hottest news of them all, is the fact that GTA 6 is leaked. Gameplay leak with female and male lead characters, with them on a boat, shop, and other settings. They talk about Vice City locations as well. Seems to be on on it, and it also confirms that both of these characters and that they were going for a quote unquote Bonnie and Clyde type atmosphere to it. Did either of you get to watch the videos?
Yeah, I watched them.
I did not have a chance to watch them. I'm interested to see what you guys say about them, though.
So it looks like GTA. To be honest, like it's pre-alpha. So it is not anything. It's not meant to blow your socks off or anything like that. In all honesty, this I will say this also it started out as a leak and then was later confirmed by Rockstar and then went, yeah, it's out there. So I feel like
they're upset.
Yeah, they are upset. That is absolutely for sure. There's a lot of work on the legal team now. I was trying to watch the videos of it, and like the main video or whatever videos, like they're getting taken down left and right. I was able to watch some of it. I was able to watch some of it.
Did you see the one in the restaurant when she was holding up the restaurant? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say it's like when you compare it to the last game they did, which would have been Red Dead, right? It doesn't look as good, but again, this is like a super pre-alpha, very early development, so I expect it to look phenomenal. There were some videos where they had like somebody had done a side by side of Vice City and then the same street in this, and it looks really good. I don't know. I mean, it's hard to go off of something so early. To me, I was like, yeah, that looks like a GTA game. That's pretty much all you can say. I know it sucks for them because they want to make a trailer where they come out and be like, GTA 6, it's got a female lead, it's in Vice City. That all would have been huge, and now that's been taken away from them, but it's only going to make more hype for the game now.
Yeah, true. Don't they tend to have like a very bomb drop kind of trailer when they actually release footage? I mean, it's Rockstar in name and in practice, in terms of who they are. And it's funny that it got leaked in that when you're thinking about how long they claimed it was going to take to make anyway, like you guys were saying, pre-alpha, like this is alpha,
Yeah, we are. Yeah, this is stuff you don't see. That's the main thing. Like while watching, like just to comment on like the footage while watching like I think the female character's in a strip club, and you can kind of see that like the character that's or whichever girl is on like the pole is like it's literally like a mannequin. Like you can see like like joints in her arm and that kind of thing, and it's because they never like this is modeling stuff that hasn't even been worked on. They're just set pieces or set pieces, I should say. So there is so much more that has to still happen to this game. I didn't expect to be blown away by any means. But I am a little like I'm kind of sad for the Rockstar team just because this had the potential to like be a huge drop. Everybody's been quite tight-lipped about it. Everybody's been kind of like, "Oh, this is what we think is going to happen." did some of these rumors end up being true anyway? Sure, of course it is, but it doesn't really compare to when they released that first trailer and you're like, oh my god, you finally get to see if anything you said was correct or not.
Right. Yeah, I mean, there was like above every NPC's head, there was like their code of what they were doing, right? And it would be like she like pointed a gun at somebody, and there was like a code that was like angry something. I forget what it said, but it said like angry over it. So yeah, I mean, this is super, super early. We're still years away. I bet you we're still a good 6 months to a year away from a trailer, really. I don't even think they're anywhere remotely close to that, but it may force them to put one out earlier now.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. We might have been like 6 months to a year now because of what's happened. It may have been even longer because they're going to announce the game and be like, okay, it's still 2, 3, 4 years away. Right. But now they're going to release it earlier and say, oh, we're still 5 or 6 years away for that matter.
It can't be that long.
You never know.
It better not be. That's insane. I'm going to go with 2025.
Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, you want them to take their time, but like not like, I mean, we're still greedy. We want the game.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So then what we'll do is we'll go into the Nintendo Direct then. Sound fair? All right, Nintendo Direct.
Okay. Give me those juicy details.
So already calling it Game of the Year, Fire Emblem Engage was announced. New Fire Emblem coming out literally in January. I only have to wait 3 months for it. Mostly 4. Nobody ever needs to play a game again. Fire Emblem is back, baby, in full force. But in all honesty, we get like a really beefy trailer out of it. The trailer shows the main character, whether it will be boy or girl, depending on what you want. Also has heterochromia, has like two different eye colors, and on top of that, too, her head's red or blue, or hair is red or blue, depending. Seems like the big game mechanic will be here is summoning legendary heroes. This seems to be drawing from Fire Emblem Heroes big time. They literally mentioned in this trailer that like at one point there was a huge war and they called upon the ancient spirits of like past times in order to like rectify the war with this it's usually called the Fell Dragon is what it's called. So anime as heck, I know. And it seems as though like the main character is able to call upon heroes of the past. They really showcased Marth. And you get to inherit some of his abilities. They also showed a female character who wasn't either of the main characters with this type of ring that can call on other ones. Celica was the other one that the female one also called upon. I also thought it looked really good. I'm kind of surprised. Like it is anime like cutscenes, so they're pretty easy to make, to be honest. Like they don't require like gigs upon gigs upon gigs of storage. Unlike, when you're playing something in the PlayStation or Xbox. But I can't say how excited I am, and it even makes me more excited that I don't have to wait that long for it. I hope that this is really like a standalone game with no pay to win sort of things. This like summoning portion of things does make me question it a little bit, because anybody who's played Fire Emblem Heroes, Nintendo's mobile game, this game has racked in gajillions of dollars for Nintendo. It is still their number one like gacha game by far. And it's been going on for some years now. And I just hope that the borrowing of these ideas from Fire Emblem Heroes does not carry over to Engage to the point where I'm paying and hoping to be able to, summon or use an ancient, Corrin from Fire Emblem Fates, or Ike from Path of Radiance, or Miyaka from Radiant Dawn. Like I won't go into all the bunch of characters. Yeah, Craig's like,
was that English?
Yeah,
that was not English.
I mean, they'll get you with Ike. You'll pay for Ike. I mean, I mean, I'll pay for Ike just from Smash, because that's my first experience with Ike is from Super Smash Brothers. But,
there were many friends that came up to me that went, "Oh, look, Marth's in it. That guy from Smash Brothers," and I would just put my hand on my head and shake my head like, you people. What did you guys think? Yeah, you guys agree it's game of the year, no questions asked, and everything. Yeah, right.
I mean, I know I'm not going to play it.
We promise there's no talking in this one, Craig.
There's always talking. I played the last one, right? I played it for a couple hours.
Three Houses?
Yeah. I mean, it's just not. I know it's not my type of game. I don't have anything against it. I think they're well-made games, and I gave Three Houses a decent shot. I don't enjoy really like the combat style, and as far as the story goes, it didn't really like grab me. So I know it's not for me, and that's fine. You guys can more than welcome fight for it next year for Game of the Year, but it'll be in January, so you will have forgotten about it by the time we get to next December.
I'm not going to say it's Game of the Year or that it will be Game of the Year. I am excited for it though,
cowards.
but I'm
absolute cowards.
I mean, something happened later in the direct that made me think that was going to be Game of the Year. But anyway,
that's if it doesn't get delayed for the 700th time.
Yeah,
that's fair. I'm a new Fire Emblem person, but I do like that type of style, that gameplay. I didn't mind the school aspects from Three Houses, where you basically did the education to further advance your characters, like that kind of stuff. That's going to that's a very specific person who likes that. Fortunately, that's like a lot. That's a lot of a huge demographic of that specific person. It looks good, and I audibly screamed Marth when I saw Marth on screen. Like I screamed Marth because I'm very excited for it. I didn't realize it was going to be this soon. I know that really made you excited, Barry, when you saw that.
Yeah, I can't believe I don't have to wait like a year, 2 years, a year and a half. January. I just have to make it till January. I have to not die until January. Once January comes around and I play Engage.
Don't you feel like that came out of nowhere?
Absolutely. Like right? The one thing that I had seen, and it's because I'm on Reddit, is there was a screenshot of of one of the main characters, but how the gameplay, what the story was about, was all like very tight-lipped. And to me, that's like, it was great. It's the kind of excitement like GTA 6 wants to have, but it got leaked, where Fire Emblem got to have that sort of excitement because of the fact that it's, they're working on it and it's practically done. It'll be out in no time here. I just need to fight everybody for the collector's edition. That's all, as I always do.
Didn't you get the last one?
Yes, I did.
I thought so.
Yes.
Yeah.
No shame in his voice.
True. Of other announcements, speaking of more anime stuff, Octopath Traveler 2 gets announced.
Yep.
Yeah.
Awesome turn-based 8-bit JRPG. Looks to be just building upon what they had. They showed you more characters. There's another dancer, hunter, kind of a gunslinger type one this time around. Really excited for Octopath Traveler 2. I just hope
not just on Switch though.
Yeah, not just on Switch.
Yep.
It's on other consoles as well. I just hope they meet demand this time around. Like Octopath Traveler, like was such kind of a sudden hit for a lot of people that for a bit there you couldn't even get your hands on the game because there wasn't enough made. So hopefully they expect good sales this time around, because Octopath Traveler 2 is a really good RPG. Atelier Ryza 3. Another Atelier Ryza game. Everybody knows me as the Atelier Ryza guy, and it's great. There's another one coming out for Switch, the third version of the game. Happy that there's a third one. We'll keep going there, and I'll let Craig talk about some of the other stuff, but I have to talk about Final Fantasy Theta Rhythm Final Bar Line.
Yeah,
that was the surprise. Yes. That was the surprise of the show for me. I thought this was dead. I never thought I'd see it, but the fact that we're getting it on Switch, it has every single Final Fantasy, 385 songs. You could play this game every day for a year, and you'd only have to play each song once. On top of that, there's online play. On top of that, they're adding DLC where there's going to be Nier added into it, Nier music. So it's like I am so excited. I love Craig and I love rhythm games, and Final Fantasy has some of the best music video game music out there. I have vinyls of them downstairs. So like it's just so nice to see like the theater rhythm get like another chance to shine, because on 3DS I loved that. I love that series. The little stylus, the music, everything like that. It was awesome. And now you get to have it on Switch. Cool. Yeah, I am so excited to finally have that.
I feel like that could be my go-to portable game for the Switch.
I can already tell it'll be mine.
Yeah. So
that actually fits that build.
Just get a good pair of headphones and just get to play, listen to music. It's awesome. Like I can't tell you how much I love Theater Rhythm when it was on the 3DS, I think it was on the DS as well. So
hey, Barry, what is your top like Final Fantasy collection like of songs? Like, would you say 8, 7, 9?
So for me, actually, 6? Final Fantasy 13-2 is my favorite music wise. And then it's Final Fantasy 7 for me. Look, I don't know why, to be completely honest. Like, I didn't get into the Final Fantasy series late. Like, I played 13, and then I played 13-2, and then I went back to 7, and then I played 10 and beat 10, and then I played 15. So it's like I'm definitely more jumped around than other people are, but Final Fantasy 13-2, like that game and the final boss battle, like I talk about how ending is paramount. That boss battle and that music was so good, and I was struggling so hard, like my hands were visibly shaking when I beat the boss. It was like one of those moments for me that definitely like put it over the top and make it my favorite.
You know what? I never would have expected you to say that answer, but as you described it, that's, that I believe you. Like I believe in your choice. I mean, I like personally for me 8, but that was the first one I played as well. So I was a kid when that kind of music is still impressionable, and you could still like remember where you were at certain ages because of that and how impressionable music is.
Yeah.
Is 8 the one with Squall?
Yeah. 8 is the one with Squall.
And
okay,
Cypher.
that's okay.
And Cypher.
Yeah. I have no idea who Cypher is.
I think it's
AKA
the
it's their second attempt at Cloud and Sephiroth, but it didn't do as well. It's essentially their second attempt at that. But it's a great game. Go ahead, Craig.
It comes down to what you played as a kid as far as what's your favorite, because people always are like, 4 or 5 is the best. But yeah, for me, like the first one I played Final Fantasy on Nintendo, but like the first one I really got into was 7. So like 7, 8, and 9 are like my go-tos for music. 7 like blew my mind as a young kid, and then I remember getting a demo disc in the PlayStation magazine for Final Fantasy 8, and just sitting in the basement with my friends and being like, oh my god, this is the craziest game we've ever played, and just spending hours and hours on the card game in Final Fantasy 8. But yeah, 7, 8, and 9 great. It's so good.
That card game in 8 is great. It's really great for the time. It's fantastic.
But I would say 7, 8, 9, 10 I think deserves to be in there. That had some good music. Yeah, they're all pretty good. The old stuff's good too. I just don't have like a super fond attachment to it.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, 8-bit music is I like put that in a different category for me, because like most Final Fantasy modern games are going to have these big orchestral pieces, where a lot of the times, like in the older Final Fantasies and Pokemon games as well, it's all like 8-bit, so it's usually like a pretty low res one. It's pretty simple, but then it like repeats itself pretty smoothly as well. So where more newer Final Fantasy 7 games are like a 10-piece orchestra set, and you're usually finishing the boss within the 10-piece orchestra set or the 10-minute set. So
yeah.
But let's Craig, I'll let you talk about some of the other games or anything else you saw at the Nintendo Direct.
I'll say that one of the first things that I just have to get off my chest, because I couldn't believe it, is they're bringing Goldeneye.
Yep.
To just like the expansion pass and such like that. I thought that was interesting to see when it happened, because for me, I think that it should have been. I mean, you don't want to show your whole hand at inception, but I thought that could have been a real nice one to have at the original launch, because I mean, that literally is the sleepover game.
Yep.
It will forever be the sleepover game, especially if you're around like Craig and I's age, because that's one of the most fond memories I have. I mean, you have memories of playing Mortal Kombat with your friends when you were kids. Tekken was one for me, at least.
100%.
But Nintendo had a certain way, and in that time frame of, especially the Nintendo 64, of having the best games to play with like 4 or 5 people, specifically 4, but like the 5th person waiting for whoever died or didn't do the best or didn't get enough. Like even before K to D was K to D ratio, you know, like who had the worst record would pass it on, like that kind of thing. So it brought back, since we're talking about sentimental things, it brought back kind of a nice memory just to kind of see them just put it up on screen, have the classic music, with showing, you know, James Bond facing the camera and doing his classic gunshot thing. That felt like a good thing to announce at least first. I mean, it's not like a new game, but I don't even know if I play it. Do you guys think you would play it like the day, like when it comes out, like when it gets released?
I probably, but it's also like it also got announced that it's coming out on Xbox as well.
Yeah.
So but the difference being that the Switch has online, Xbox does not, but Xbox is 4K, the Switch is not. So you're like, if you want to play online, you got to play it on the Switch, which I don't see myself playing GoldenEye online. But if you can still do local multiplayer, which to me is more important, right? Because we're all going to be calling up everybody from our childhood being like, yo, let's all get together and play GoldenEye again. And then it comes down to, would you rather play it on an Xbox controller or a Switch controller? You know, but still, sure. I understand why. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt and say it took them so long because of licensing issues with James Bond. But I mean, yeah, it's either way, like wherever you play it, it's a awesome game to have, to be able to play again.
Yeah, for the most part, I'm
going to say that was some really good news there. So a couple of things also that I wrote down. I wrote down like a whole list of things because I just figured like there was just so much that happened. And I think that one of the interesting things was the Pikmin segment. Now, I'm not a Pikmin guy. I did like the focus that they put on Pikmin, though. Number one, it's really nice that we do have like a 2023, that there's another one coming out. I always looked at that game as I should play this because like it has some certain qualities that I like, but it also inevitably had others that I wasn't really just excited to actually go and pick up. But I did forget the mark that it made in the video game world, because I can't really describe another game that's like that or even remotely like that. I mean, there are some that have a similar vibe, but Pikmin did something very specific. So it's kind of nice that we're getting that back in there. Barry, are you a Pikmin guy?
So I am, like, I actually find Pikmin very therapeutic in a way. Like it is a game where, like, yeah, there's usually a timer, but I never feel too rushed with anything. Finding, collecting everything, like that's what Pikmin has always been about for me. So like and the puzzle wise and defeating the monsters, where it's not anything too stressful. I I am excited to see that there's a Pikmin 4. Like we did just like not too long ago, we already got Pikmin 3 Deluxe Edition from them. So to see another Pikmin means that the sales were good enough to get another one. And on top of that, I think it's and you're right, like they're kind of not, there really isn't another game like Pikmin. I really have a hard time trying to like even compare another game to Pikmin, to be honest, right now. So Nintendo has like a niche with Pikmin that like nobody else has really touched. So with that, Nintendo I think will keep going it because there is a very strong fan base, and I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that games like that in Japan just sell like hotcakes. Like they just sell. Where for us, they don't do as much. Like a part of the news this week is the fact that Splatoon, the new Splatoon game, is the biggest selling first-person shooter in Japan. Like here it's all about Call of Duty and in most of the other world as well. But in Japan, they love Splatoon. Like Splatoon is their thing. And I don't want to get on a rant, but mini rant. Like, I don't know what's in the matchmaking for Splatoon, but like I've lost 10 straight games and I want to throw my cartridge out the window. I'm not bad at Splatoon. I am average, but I don't know what this ranking or what like matchmaking system they have is. But I feel like I'm getting matched with pros and I'm just getting absolutely smacked. There we go. Mini rant.
They're trying to make you up your game.
Yeah, that was a mini rant. That was the definition and the time frame of a mini rant.
Yeah.
Smaller things. Xenoblade Chronicles gets an expansion. We could all guess that. They're adding a new hero. With that new hero, I believe, comes 2 new classics. I need something to get me playing again because it happened with the last Xenoblade Chronicles. You get 60 hours in, and then you could see that there's another 60 hours left or 40 hours left, and then it just becomes overwhelming. / a new game comes out. I was hoping I had on my calendar when that game came out. I had when Soul Hackers 2 came out, and then I couldn't beat it before Soul Hackers 2 came out, so I played Soul Hackers 2, and now I'm not going to go back to Xenoblade Chronicles, or maybe I will. I don't know.
And you won't go back to Xenoblade because when you load up the game, you're going to be you're going to load up the game and you're going to be like, where the heck am I? I don't know what I'm doing. I have to restart. But then I just lost 40 to 60 hours of gameplay. So yeah, Xenoblade Chronicles 3 will just sit in your library until one day they stop making games and you go, you know what? I got Xenoblade. And I got games to play. Yeah, exactly. You'll just play it all over again.
Yep.
Yes.
That's what these games are for. It's for the
Will
gaming
that day
apocalypse.
ever come?
Maybe. Who knows?
Will that day ever come where we like go back and actually finish all these games that we've half played or 75% played?
Unless they stop releasing games as a whole, there's no way I can. Like,
yeah.
That's why like the short storytelling stuff is so popular right now for me, because like I can get a game done and I'd be like, wow, I accomplished something today. Where, it's unless it's Persona 5 released for the 17th time in the last 6 years, it's going to be hard for me to beat it because for whatever reason Persona 5 is the only thing that'll keep my attention span from my monkey brain, just going at amazing RPGs.
Hear me out. Yeah. What if I'm thinking for a future podcast episode here? What if we all came up with not a complete comprehensive list, but like a list of games that we have started, almost finished, kind of in the middle, that we want to finish, and we list them all, and then we pick like a month and we just smacked all those out and cross them off the list and see who can get the most off in a month.
We could try, but
like that a lot.
we could absolutely try. My issue is my backlog is disgusting. Like I've got.
So what if we all pick to like 10?
Okay, maybe.
Yeah. We all have 10. That's
for sure.
We all have
definitely
at least 10.
Have.
My problem is trying to get into like 30 of them.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say that's the issue. My problem is like I'll make a list of like 40 games that I haven't actually beaten, and it's like, well, where do I start?
That's too many.
That's gonna, but that's my problem, is that I have too many games.
So pick 10.
That's what I mean.
We all pick 10.
You guys are right.
We pick a month. We'll come up with a month that is light in games. Maybe that's like early next year or something, and then we can all every week for those 4 podcasts keep each other accountable for really knocking these games out, because I for sure could come up with 10 in like 10 minutes.
I like this idea a lot. Number one, it'll help me from buying more games too, because you get that watchful eye, because you're like, I don't have that feeling anymore of a new game, and then you just kind of start looking at all the different platforms you have, all the apps for the platforms you have.
Yep.
So I like that idea. As a sneak peek, can you guys think of one game in the last 2 years that you're embarrassed that you haven't finished?
Red Dead Redemption 2.
Red Dead Redemption 2.
I'll say, WoW.
Yep.
I'll say Returnal.
Oh my goodness, you didn't finish that?
I got to like the 4th biome, whatever the freezing biome is, and I never finished it after that.
Okay.
Yeah, like for me, all of my friends have told me like, dude, Red Dead Redemption 2 is like such a classic. It's such a good game. And I imagine it is. It's a Rockstar game. Yep. The story mode is going to be fantastic. But every time I load up that game, slow. Every time I load up that game, I know it's going to be a slow burn, and I know like it's going to take me forever to get anywhere. It's the same thing with the original Red Dead Redemption. I never finished that either. But like when the Undead Nightmare came out, all I did was play that zombies mode that was so much fun. So it's the Red Dead Redemption series as a whole for me is almost like my what is it? Forget. There's like a oh man, my white elephant. I guess no, that's not
Kryptonite?
That's not the word. I don't know if it's kryptonite, but that series, like I should be able to finish it, and I should like it, but it's just that like I know how slow they are, and that always I'm looking
also
to
not
get to
going to put Elden Ring on there.
Oh no, you will get back to Elden Ring.
Yeah, but I'm not putting that on my list of things to knock out in a month. I won't even finish that.
No, Elden Ring took me from the release date. It took me till like mid-April or late April to beat. Like it was a slow. It's a different type of slow burn, but it was a slow burn for me as well.
True. Sorry, I didn't mean to completely derail us, but that idea came into my head, and I was like, that sounds like an awesome idea.
It is.
No, I like that. What?
You missed the big one.
Oh yeah, I just wanted to go through. There's Mario and plus Rabbids gameplay, which is nice. Good to see that. Bayonetta 3 just invigorated me, and I just wanted to say, Barry, we could talk about it later, but I started Bayonetta again because of that and because you were playing it. Side note, It Takes Two coming to the Switch November 4th, and before the big one, there is Kirby Return to Dreamland Deluxe coming out February 24th.
Yep.
30th anniversary of Kirby, which blew my mind. I'm looking for a person that says Kirby is my jam, because I think we all like Kirby. But the more I talk about these Kirby's coming out with, like, really any person who relatively plays games, we all played like the Game Boy version. Like me, I had Kirby on Game Boy. It was great. That's why when they added that level to the original Super Smash Brothers, I was like extremely excited. It reminded me of the first boss you play. I'm always mildly excited for Kirby, but never majorly. But it's good to see that they keep Kirby's the one actor that disappeared, or it felt like they disappeared for a decade, and then they came back and did like 3 movies, and you're like, where have they been?
Yeah,
like that's what it feels like to me with these recent installments, because they're essentially like that's 3 games within a year and a half of each other. It's something like that. So we're getting that, and then we have the big guy. I'm excited about the big guy, but I know Barry, you can announce it if you want. I don't want to ruin it.
No, go ahead. No, you're
Barry
fine.
never beat Breath of the Wild.
We got not only what was it like a minute and a half trailer, something like that?
Yeah, I don't know. It felt like I'm pretty sure it was 45 seconds. I'm pretty sure it was 45 seconds is what it was.
It felt like 8 years for me because I was just so excited. So we get a title, Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, and we get a release date, which is May 12th. Ironically, my wife's birthday.
Oh, I thought it was the 23rd.
And she's not a big Zelda person, but I am.
But that's what she's getting for her birthday.
I thought it was May 12th when they released.
I'll take a look at it real quick, but go into it.
Yeah. Now I want to. I'm gonna get her that and wrap it and literally have her open it up, and then I'm just gonna take it and play it.
There you go.
But the long-awaited sequel to the best, and in my opinion, and feel free to make fun of me for this, the best looking Switch game.
Craig's right.
Based off of how it's May 12th. Okay.
Yeah, you're
May 12th. We finally get Tears of the Kingdom. We're getting the amazing Zelda created world with an extreme level of verticality, which is going to make it. I'm through. I can't wait. I can't wait. Now, I don't know about you guys. When I saw that, part of me was like, this would be a cool time if they announced a new Switch, like a better Switch. So when they were getting towards the end of the announcements, I couldn't watch it live because I was getting my hair cut. But, when you watch it on YouTube and you see like the little sections, so but you don't like to spoil it by clicking over it. I thought that the remaining 2 announcements, as I was looking at how much time was left with my remote, I thought the remaining 2 announcements were going to be bam, bam, like those 2. And I'm okay with them not announcing that because, to be honest, the original Breath of the Wild looks so darn good. It took my breath away, if I could be as corny
here,
like
guys.
that.
See you later.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for the new one, and it's really kind of liberating to have a date. Because we know it's coming. We know it's coming. It's really liberating, even if it's pushed back for some strange reason. It's just really liberating to have an actual date for the second Zelda on the Switch. So, I don't know what you guys thought when you saw it.
I'm pretty excited. No, I'm pretty excited for it. It did give me, and one thing I'm hoping it kind of leans into a bit more, is Twilight Princess vibes. Definitely in the logo. If you look close enough, like the Master Sword digitizes a little bit into like a green and black shading, which definitely reminds me of the Twilight Princess. Also, I'm pretty sure what you were collecting, it's either in Twilight Princess or Skyward Sword, you collect tears. In wolf form or in Skyward Sword, it's tears. They also went ahead and like somebody went in and like frame by framed. It is the same exact like drop animation from where Link like jumps off in Skyward Sword. It's the same exact jump off animation as it is from there in this game. So like there's a lot of similarities that seem to be calling back to previous Zeldas. I just wonder whether or not like if they did mention it's tears, is Zelda dead? Did Zelda disappear? Is she in like that Twilight realm where maybe Midna is, who is a big fan favorite from Twilight Princess, and I think in the Zelda series in general. So I want to see them pull from the other Zelda games a little bit, while like they're obviously innovating in however they're going to do Breath of the Wild. I just want them, and as Craig knows as well, I want them to do more main dungeons. I really didn't care for the 105 mini dungeons that you got to go through that, sometimes make you want to pull your hair out. Like, make more main dungeons. You don't need to have 100 odd some mini dungeons throughout your entire world. It doesn't need to be like that. And for some, that'd be overwhelming.
Yeah.
Did you just go full conspiracy theory on the trailer?
Maybe.
Maybe.
I think it looks okay. It's not the intended audience, it's not me. So it looks to me, I'm just like, yeah, it looks like a Zelda game. I'm sure it'll be fun for everybody who likes it. I just, for whatever reason, cannot get into them, but I'll still give it a try because I always give Zelda games a try, hoping that it's the one that's going to latch on and connect with me. So maybe this is it. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully this one will be your Demon Souls.
Yeah.
Where you get on and then you start wanting to play other ones. There are 2 games in the next year that I am perfectly content and I am confident will be exactly what I want no matter what. And that's God of War and this upcoming Zelda.
Well, God of War
is the 2 that I am 100% confident.
Yeah, God of War.
Well, that's November, what I'm saying. Within the next, next year, like from now.
From this moment.
So from this exact moment, there are 2 games that I just know they are going to. Yes. In this time frame, in this particular universe.
Yeah.
Those are definitely 2 franchises you can count on to not let you down, for sure.
Yeah. But I think that's really all from the Direct, unless you had something else, Barry.
The only thing I wanted to mention was another big get since Goldeneye is coming to the N64 expansion pack. They're adding Pokemon Coliseum. And that is completely awesome for any of us who played Pokemon Coliseum. And those mini games had no right to be as fun as they were, and they were so much fun and awesome. So
they were fire.
It's going to be so much fun to like be able to go through and play those mini games in Pokemon Coliseum, because like I'll be honest, the fighting was a little bit boring. Like what was nice is you had all the Pokemon like that you wanted to fight with in your like party. You didn't necessarily have to go and collect them like in other Pokemon games. Where in Coliseum, you just have them. So, or no, Stadium. Sorry, it's Pokemon Stadium, not Coliseum. Coliseum's a completely different game. So awesome. It's nice to see that like more bigger titles from the N64 are coming for there. I'm just waiting for Glover still. I don't know where Glover is. We need Glover.
Side note too, with Pokemon Stadium 1 and 2 coming, I'm going to point right at the camera. I'm looking at you, Nintendo. Stop being cowards. Give us a Game Boy emulator. Give us Pokemon so that we can build our party in Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow and take it over to Pokemon Stadium.
Oh, that would be sweet.
Well, no, they allowed that. Yeah, they did that.
Like I remember doing that as a kid. Let me do it again. So give me my Game Boy emulator, please.
You know what's another side note? That is probably the earliest version I can remember of like what it would essentially be what we would consider AirPlay or streaming from, because like you essentially took something from a Game Boy screen and you played with those Pokemon on your Game Boy screen on finally your large television. And Barry, you reminded me of that because you said that the fighting wasn't necessarily fun, like in the animation style, but like seeing the Dragonite that you blood, sweat, and tears, like, and cried over to get to a certain level, fight your friend and destroy your friend's Articuno. Just, I don't know about you, but it reinforced some of my childhood friendships. So
or ended them. It sounds like
or ended them. Pokemon definitely does that.
I mean, that would be like, I think that would just get so many people, if they haven't already signed up for the Switch Online, to sign up if they were like, hey, Pokemon Red, Blue, Yellow, Green, Silver, and Gold, all available on Game Boy emulator. Game over.
Mic drop.
I'd play through all of them again.
Oh yeah.
Man, 43 minutes in, we didn't even talk about the state of play.
Listen, we're on a roll. Let me get through. We could do the Call of Duty one real quick.
Go do Call of Duty.
All right, so I'm gonna kind of gloss over it because I know, Craig, you played the beta, so we can do that during games. But I watched like a whole bunch of streamers go through Warzone 2, just to kind of get a feel of how that's going to look, hoping that'll draw me back in. I think it's going to. A couple of things I noticed: looting is a lot slower, more methodical, which I appreciate. Trying to slow the whole game down. The big one that I thought was super cool was the closing rings. I don't know if you guys saw that, but the multiple closing rings. So like you'll have your big main one, and then when it starts getting smaller, it'll split into 3, and they're not connected. So you may be over here and you may clear out that circle, and then you just kind of wait until it comes back together. I think that's a really cool new idea.
That is.
Other than that, I mean, it looks like Warzone to me, and it seems like the people playing it handled like Warzone. New map seems cool. Got airport in there, right? So
Terminal
I'm excited.
Well.
Terminal, yep. I don't know. I'm excited to try it out again. I'm excited for Call of Duty. But yeah, that's, I just wanted to kind of gloss over that real quick.
No, I'm excited for Warzone 2. I will definitely be giving it another shot when Modern Warfare 2 comes out.
Yep.
Yeah, that's an interesting idea that I think might reel me back in as well. Specifically, the separate rings. Like that's very simple yet a great idea.
Super smart. Yeah.
Super smart.
So the state of play.
State of play. Well, let's say the Nintendo event. I know I said before the podcast, Barry, that like it was juicy and not juicy to me, but like I feel like it was a lot juicier than the state of play, to tell you the truth. I mean, I did so they did have a Tekken 8 trailer, which was nice. It was really fun trying to identify, because like I saw Jin immediately, but I was trying to kind of identify whom else they were showing there. this is a weird time for me for a Tekken, but I think that might be what makes me play it or what makes me excited about it. The fight sequence looked pretty crisp. I mean, I know it's like trailer.
It was gorgeous. It was
gorgeous.
Yeah, like those lightning effects.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
I really wish like I could get into fighting games. I just suck at them. But like I watched Tekken 8 and I'm like, damn, that looks fun. That looks like fun.
Yeah.
I want to play it. But then I get it and I'm like, oh, I suck at this game. I forgot.
There's nothing wrong with playing offline though and having a good time. I used to do that all the time with
the
Tekken,
shelf life is just
Soul
so
Calibur.
limited.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I was perfectly happy with Tekken and Soul Calibur playing offline for hours.
Well, like we were different kind of gamers when we were young. So when those I think that's what it is now, because I don't like fighting games anymore either. But I have a long track record between like 9 and 15 of loving fighting games.
Yep.
And I don't know where it went, you know, besides Smash, which I always like Smash Brothers, like no matter how old I was. But if they're going to sell people like me who haven't played a Tekken in a long time, that's what you need to show me. And I'm going to keep my eye on it because it looks great. And I just hope it has like this. I hope it has the classics like the King, obviously like a Heihachi, Law, you know, Eddie Gordo, Yoshimitsu, who has made his way into 85 other games because he's just dope, and he has essentially a unlicensed lightsaber that he fights with that's curved. I always like thought that was hilarious. But anyway, that was a big one. We're getting for the VR2 Star Wars Tales of the Galactic Edge.
Great game.
Yeah, and I like trying to get it hyped for VR2, which I know we're still in the news segment, but I also with that heard that VR2 is not going to support PlayStation VR games.
Yep.
Not a surprise move though. I mean, that's kind of what we get now. But in any case, that looked great. I don't know how you guys like. Are you guys jumping on that? Like, are you jumping on VR2 in general, like PlayStation VR2 or not?
I use my Quest so much, I just don't have a need to buy this too. There's no
I'm
need.
the exact same way.
Yep. And these games that they announced, like I already have that Star Wars game on my Quest. Right? Like I already have it and I've already played through it. So to me, I'm like, yeah, that's an awesome game, but I've already played it. So it really comes down to, all right, what's the exclusives? And it's the Horizon game, which looks cool, but I'm sure it's short, right?
Yeah, like, I'm going to be disappointed in the fact I probably can't play that because like to buy the PSVR 2 is going to be another $500, $400 most likely.
Yep.
So, and I really want to play that Horizon VR game, but I can't justify spending $500 for one not only a VR system because I already have one, but then on top of that, you got to buy the game still. Maybe it'll come to VR. Yeah. That would be great. Sony could just bring their games to VR. That'd be awesome. Be friends with Facebook. Cool. What's wrong with that?
That'll never happen.
I know. I know.
Yeah. In the perfect world.
Yep.
I just also there is going to be another Like a Dragon that I'm not going to finish playing, but I'll probably play 30 hours of.
Yep.
Excited for that. February 2023. That Yakuza series is interesting. I don't know if anybody else has this problem listening, watching, or the two awesome gentlemen that I am looking at right now. I can never finish one of those games. I play it. It's awesome. The story is...
Oh, here he goes. He's whipping it out. He's whipping out his Yakuza
I do like them, but hold on. Let me just show you this, right? This will show you. I've played 1, 2, 3, 4, right? 6 was the last one. As you'll see, still plastic wrapped from the day I bought it. Got it. They're hard to finish. You know what I mean?
They're hard to finish. And it's like you can't complain about the game. Like if you were to ask me why haven't you finished them, besides the standard gamer drag that happens, I couldn't tell you. They're good. The stories are well written. They usually get amazing, not usually, like almost always have phenomenal voice actors.
Yep.
And the gameplay's great. Like a Dragon is supposed to be to touch more with the RPG type of gang, which I thought was awesome because they're taking the Yakuza series and they're making it more they're more RPG and also creating a amazing character like they did with the others. Anyway, it's coming out probably going to buy it. I'm probably going to play 32 hours of it. And it's going to end up on the list that we're subsequently going to finish in a month.
Yep.
Because it's going to. Stellar Eve. I've had my eye on the project. Oh, sorry, Stellar Blade. I combined them.
Stellar Blade.
Yep.
Formerly known as Project Eve, which I did my best, and I did, to remember because that stuck out to me when they originally were showing it. I was like, I'm going to want to play that.
Yeah, looks cool.
So, looks cool. It's great that
also
we have a
game
name.
Of the year.
No,
it might. I'll be more serious about that one than the originally spoken game of the year call out that Barry said. But
no, remember that's going to be the game of year next year. Soul Hackers 2 is still it's still top 5 game.
You haven't even played Soul Hackers 2 in weeks.
Also, I'm talking about your Fire Emblem call out earlier.
Oh, okay. No, yeah. So yeah, it's going to be between 2 anime games. Like gaming might as well just stop. They might as well just quit because like those 2 games, you can't compete with them.
Oh my god. Anyway.
We do have a year. We don't have a month and a day yet, but it's going to be 2023, which is completely fine. The beginning of 2023 is going to blow our minds with game releases. It's a star-studded cast. It's basically an Ocean's 11 with like 8 less people. But anyway, in the beginning of the year, Hogwarts Legacy. There's a Haunted Hogsmeade.
Yes.
Specific. I believe it's specific to the PlayStation.
For a year.
For a year.
Mm-hmm.
They already showed it.
Segue?
Two.
Did we all do the quiz? Did we all do the quiz? Do we all remember our houses?
I did.
I do. I have it on my phone. Yeah, this will be a segue. All right, so yeah, that's coming out. Haunted Hogsmeade. They showed us dark gameplay before showing this Haunted Hogsmeade, but this is going to make it even darker with Harry Potter, which is nice because dark Harry Potter is great. That's why we like the subsequent Harry Potter movies as opposed to the earlier ones. We like the earlier ones for a specific reason, but when people start dying, that's when it gets real good.
Yeah.
I
mean, I was Ravenclaw, Barry.
Okay, I was hoping we were all going to say it on go just because I know it's not going to work and it's going to sound stupid. I am a Slytherin.
I'm not surprised you're Slytherin at all.
Really? You're not surprised?
No.
Really?
Nope.
Oh,
nope.
Yeah. Do that. Wow. Okay. Like, I don't know what that says about me. I'm kind of scared. Other than that, though, my Patronus charm is a crow.
Okay.
And my wand is made of larch, whatever the heck that means.
I didn't do the other 2 yet.
Oh, okay. What about you, Craig?
I was going to say, what's your guys' best guess for where I ended up?
You're probably you're probably like a goody 2 shoes Hufflepuff or Gryffindor.
Hufflepuff.
So I did this with my wife, right?
Yeah,
next to her.
She had to keep you accountable. Yeah, I did the same thing. My roommate kept me accountable as well.
For those of you who saw the episode with my wife Leanne in it, or for anybody who actually knows her, you would guess immediately what house she's in. I don't know if her influence is like rubbed off on me, but I ended up Slytherin.
Yo, Craig and I in the Snake Clan.
So my Patronus is also a crow.
Interesting.
Like I got and my wand is made of aspen, but I think I'm attributing it to when you get into your 30s and you start getting more cynical about things, because when I answered those things, I felt Slytherin in some of my answers. It was like, which one do you like, day or night? I was like, night, you know? It's just like, are you going to, if you had a choice to save the records of all the students at Hogwarts, or to take this very powerful icon off of a table and in a burning library, which would you do? I was like, powerful icon. I don't care about the records of the students. So I'm attributing it to just being 34 and in America. That's why I ended up being Slytherin. But anyway, I don't know how many other things you guys wanted to talk about from the PlayStation event. We did get Pacific Drive, which looks interesting. There's the PlayStation Stars loyalty program, which, I mean, I'm going to be honest,
weird system. I'm not interested in it at all. I might accidentally hop on that. Like, and I mean, like, they're going to be like, oh, you've earned something. I'll be like, okay, what is it? And then I'm going to get a weird collectible, not an NFT, quote unquote, of something. I don't know. It seems like a weird loyalty thing, but maybe if the only thing you do is play PlayStation and only have PlayStation games, maybe you collect enough of these collectibles to be like, wow, I actually have something cool. And what would work is imagine the PS3 PlayStation Home. You get these collectibles and you can show them off in your house. Imagine that if only PlayStation Home was a thing again, but it's not.
But it's not.
I don't do like the Nintendo points. I don't ever mess with that either. The only thing I do is the one through the Microsoft Rewards, right? That you get from using Bing or like, doing Game Pass stuff. And the only reason I do that is because it auto renews my points every month for a $10 Microsoft gift card, which I think is perfect, right? I'm playing the games anyway, accruing these imaginary points, and I still feel like I'm getting things out of it. So it's very simple to make it worthwhile. And I feel like that's the way to do it. This PlayStation one, I'm just like, I don't think I'm going to care enough to want to get into it.
Besides copy and pasting, I don't think any loyalty program is going to be as good as Microsoft Rewards.
Yeah.
It's just more beneficial. There's more things you can buy with your point system. You can use it towards everything from like a pro controller to like
Microsoft Word.
Microsoft. Yeah.
Or Dunkin' Donuts gift card.
But like that's what works for them because Microsoft has obviously integrated past gaming. Gaming is a huge part of their business acumen or whatever, but like it's
good word. Good word there.
Yeah, it was nice.
Thank you. But you can like expand it so that you can bring it over and you're like, maybe I want Microsoft 365 this year. Like I'll use those gaming points or whatever. So
you know what they could do? I'll throw this out there. Because Sony has a somewhat big presence in the movie industry, right? So why not, in some sort of way with this loyalty program, allow us to rent digital movies?
And they already, and what's nice is on Sony TVs, at least, they already have the Bravia Core application, which does show Sony TVs. So if you can link that, Sony movies. Right. So if you can link them up in a way, that would be a pretty good loyalty program. I would agree with that. Yeah. So then the big reveal is the controller, right?
Yes. And it's ugly.
Yeah.
No, I love it. Right. I really like it.
Really?
Yeah, I love it.
I think it's awful. Good.
No, it's just another controller I'm going to buy, and I'm going to have like a 4th or 5th controller. I have the purple one, I have the original one, I have a maroon one, and now I'm going to have a pro one. But that's just my problem. But I'm excited about it. It looks formidable.
Yeah.
And that's what I like about it.
Yeah. And then the trailer. I thought it was funny to be like, here, we have one more thing to show you. They showed the controller and I was like, okay. And then they actually showed like the story trailer for God of War. To be honest, I would have been I'm kind of on a double-edged sword here. I watched that trailer and I was like, I'm ready. Like Kratos, and I know this line has been memed to death, but Kratos eventually goes, death can have me when it earns me. And I'm like, okay, yeah, just give me the game. Just give me the game, Kratos, whatever. Yeah. I wanna see Kratos just go bat crazy. But on the other side of things, I kind of was, and I'm glad that there isn't so many things that like they showed off in the story trailer, but I really didn't want to see much more of the story. I want it to kind of be as much of a mystery as possible, just because I like those types of things where, the least I know about it going in, the more is discoverable and the more it feels like my moment instead of one that's shared.
What did you think of Thor? Or like the very small.
I like it.
Did you like how he looked? I mean, we didn't get like a full like here he is for 10 seconds, but we definitely got like those like real quick showings of him.
Yep.
So not only am I a white girl for Greek mythology, I'm also a white girl for Norse mythology. This Norse mythology or interpretation is much more true to what they have him. Like, he's not like in the Norse mythology, he's a very cocky of like god, and he's also like he's extremely like lazy. Like the way they have him like built, this is the son of the god of all gods, Odin, and he's pretty much had everything handed to him on a silver platter, other than a couple other times in like Norse mythology wise. But I really love everything they're doing about it. You got to see like the wolves as well, the ones that chase the moon and chase the sun and everything like that. I just I'm really excited for their interpretations of what like the Norse mythology is going to be like, because many people look at it and go, oh, Loki is a trickster in a way, because like we have these images from the Marvel movies where I think God of War is going to completely tear down those things, because it's their game and they already have Loki in it. Sorry, spoilers, but I guess I didn't say who Loki is, so no spoilers. Spoiler, not spoiler.
Yeah.
So excited. That trailer like pumped me up so much for it. And
but I don't want any more.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to see any more. Just leave it alone.
Yep. We have the release date. Just let us marinate on that trailer for the next month or two until we get it in our hands. I'm good.
Yeah.
I am I am so close to replaying one. Like
you have enough games to play. Stop it.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah, like I it's the same thing where like Craig and I have a backlog and we just play Apex instead.
Yep.
So it's that thing all over again. But yeah, there we go. An hour of news. I hope we literally touched everything you guys wanted to talk about. Like, other than what was mentioned, there was Rise of Ronin from Team Ninja as well. That's something that looks to be another. Apparently, it was a scrapped game from Team Ninja, brought back and brought on the PlayStation. Definitely between the two, and definitely more. The Nintendo Direct was a lot more meatier, a lot more juicier in a way. The state of play, like. It was fun seeing the interaction on Twitter, because Nintendo like showed the state of play, and then PlayStation goes, "Oh, hey, look, we're the next day," later that day, like big gaming news, and it's like, okay, like not definitely as important as what the Nintendo one was, but nice try, Sony.
Yeah.
Overall, wow, super excited for the future of gaming. I think we're like. I've never felt this way, but people have mentioned like this has kind of been like a slower year in games because of COVID, and we're finally getting to see all these games released. I know I haven't felt that way because all I do is play video games. But I can definitely see like with all these major releases now coming, be like, wow, this is like when we're starting to see everything come out.
Yeah.
So games this week then, guys. For me, it's going to be Temtem and NBA 2K23. How about you guys?
I'm going to focus in on one game and one game only. Metal Hellsinger.
Ooh. I'm going to focus on two games. Well, one's the beta from Call of Duty.
Yep.
And then I also played Steel Rising as well.
Okay. Nice.
So
cool.
I'll talk about that guy.
We're definitely
well-rounded. Yeah, we're well-rounded this week.
Yeah.
I'll go over my two games because I was supposed to play them last week, but I didn't get them in time. Not my fault. Again, NBA 2K23. There isn't much to say that hasn't already been said by Craig. Definitely feels like another NBA game. The shot meter, I do admit, I do feel better about. I think I see it a little bit better this year, so I'm making more of my shots. I went ahead and did a little bit of the Jordan era mode. And I definitely like that. That is a fun mode. It's fun for like the challenges wise, where it tells you got to score all these points, and then it kind of cuts to the iconic camera angles that happened in like Jordan's career. It's a pretty fun game mode. I kind of like that sort of aspect. It's a different type of thing and gets you away from the pay to win story mode that they want you to pay now. And to be honest, like I know we talked about it last week, I haven't even started the story mode just because I'm like, man, I got to save up money. I got to save up money in order
I got to save up money.
I got to save up money in order to make my virtual NBA player better than he is. So that's just, it sucks that that's the way it is. And like, I really, really hope they get like, I know they get so much money from this. I know they're not going to go away from it, but God, do I wish they'd stop leaning into it so much. Make it easier. Make it so I don't have to play 10 games to gain 1 overall. No one likes I don't know a single person that likes grinding from overall 59 all the way up to, 80 something, high 80s, high mid 90s, all the way through. Like there is no one in I'm pretty sure there's no one in the world that likes that grind. What's fun about that? Because when you're in like the low 50s, mid 60s, you're just sitting on the bench and you get maybe 5 minutes to play a game where your player is not good enough to make a difference in the game. And on top of that, he's not good enough to make the shots. He's not good enough to like it makes me so frustrated at the fact that they make this process so long, but they start your character out so badly. Like they're just stop it. And they're not going to. I know I'm screaming to no one here and ranting to no one, but like
we're here for you.
start us off mid 70s, start us off low 80s or something like that. At least the grind isn't that terrible. Like, but don't make it so that I have to buy $30 to $50 worth of in-game currency in order to even get some sort of playing time in the game. Because not only that, and I'm just going full on into it now. Like nobody wants to play with you in my park when you're 65 overall rated. Like no one wants to play with you. Somebody sees you and they go the other way. It's all it's this weird type of alienation thing that NBA 2K23 is doing, where if you don't have the money in order to make your basketball player good enough to like play my park, or don't feel like grinding for what feels like at least 6 months of only playing NBA in order to finally be able to maybe play a game and maybe be a little bit decent. I'm sorry, but that's not good for the game of NBA 2K. Like that. Craig's just nodding his head because like I'm like newer into the NBA series.
Yeah.
And he's had this problem for years. And I just can't stand the fact that like it is depressing. It feels defeating when nobody wants to play with you in my park. Like you just want to play 3v3, have like a little bit arcadey fun, but then all of the random players that like you want to queue up with don't want to play with you. And a lot of the times too, feel like I'm losing my voice here. A lot of the times
you're pretty heated.
Yeah, a lot of the times, like your friends, like let's say they're 80 and you're 65, they're going to want to play with you because you're not competitive as a team, because you're all facing 85 to 90 overall players with their own entrances that make them do backflips and stuff. Like, way to make a person feel bad about not having enough money to play your game. Like, it's not like that in Madden, and it's not like that in FIFA, at least. Yeah, the Ultimate Team aspect is there, but I think it is so utterly disgusting and stupid that 2K NBA thinks this is okay.
The sooner you recognize they don't care, the better you'll be. And like, again, we always say like, well, the solution is everybody would have to, not buy the game or not buy VC, but that's never going to happen, right? Because everybody is either buying the $100 edition, which comes with 100,000 VC, or they're buying the base one and then dropping another 40, or 50 or 60 or 70 or $80 immediately, right? Like, because you see like stuff on like Instagram and TikTok of people being like, their girlfriend bought them NBA, for $60, and he's like, all right, well, I still got to spend another 60, trying to explain why. And it's the way 2K is. They don't care. They're never going to change it because they're making billions of dollars off of it. And there's never going to be enough people to stand up against them to make it change. It's never going to change ever. It's going to be this way forever. The only thing we can hope is that this isn't 2K, but they don't find a way to do this in the college football game next year.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because I will be devastated.
So now that I've cooled down from my rant,
yes, Temtem.
Zen moment.
My Zen moment is Temtem this week. It's kind of hard to say whether or not Temtem, I believe, is like truly a really great game, because like for me, what I love about Temtem right now is like the discovery of things. Like I have no idea when things evolve. I have no idea what I'm running into next. It's that like new Pokemon game that comes out with brand new, monsters to catch. And you finally get to like, okay, I like this one. I like the way this one looks. Let's see what it evolves into, or how do I evolve it? Like that sense of discovery is back with Temtem, because Temtem is something that's completely original and doesn't have anything connected to, Pokemon or other monster catching games. There we go. And from that point as well, what I really like as well is just the fact that it seems more streamlined. And maybe Scarlet and Violet are more streamlined than ever before as well. But for example, this game has like Pokemon centers just like in places of random routes. So when your Pokemon are low, you go and heal them. On top of that, all of the battles are doubles. So they're like, on top of the fact that they're doubles, instead of like having power points to where, like, for example, you know how you could only use Hyper Beam like 5 times before it stopped being able to use. Instead, you have stamina points with your Temtem that certain moves cost different stamina points, and then from there, like, you can decide to, the moment you like have less stamina than what it costs to use a move, you can still use it, but it'll cause your Pokemon to go into overexhaustion, and then it loses health, and on top of that, like, needs to rest the next turn. So in a lot of battles I'm facing, it doesn't feel as just like, because in Pokemon it's pretty blind now, where you just press, okay, this is the super effective move, just use it, battle's over. In this game, it is a lot more strategic. I have to worry about my Pokemon's stamina so that they don't like get overexerted and knock themselves out. Certain moves a Temtem needs to be in the battle.
We were just gonna let you do it.
Yeah,
I was gonna come.
Just gonna let you do.
I gotta make sure I correct myself. But
your door's gonna get kicked down in about 30 seconds.
Yeah, right. But Temtem, they have certain moves that your Pokemon needs to be in. I did it again. Wow.
Just say Pokemon. We know what you mean.
No.
Just check over your shoulder every once in a while.
Yeah. Your Temtem need to be in battle for a certain amount of turns in order to be able to use a certain move. So, like, the weaker moves, like, only you can bring out your Temtem and they can use it right away, but the stronger moves you sometimes need to wait 2 or 3 turns for. And that also, like, brings in the strategic battle portion of things. And I like that. I like that this game is making me think more than Pokemon does. And is definitely a little bit harder than Pokemon is. The one thing I do have to say about it, though, is that this game is an MMO, so it's online all the time. So while you can play the entire campaign in co-op mode, which I think is awesome, and probably will be in like the new Pokemon games, it needs to be connected to the internet at all times.
Okay,
that's a bummer.
So like, Pokemon gives you that freedom. Hey, I can play offline if I want to. Where in here, the game, like, it says Nintendo Online required for it. Okay. So, I actually haven't taken Temtem out on the go. I don't know if even I can play it out on the go. But I imagine you can't because it's an MMO. So
interesting. But it's good.
Just something to think about. I enjoy Temtem just because it feels like Pokemon, but it's new, it's fresh, it feels different, and that's good.
How many Pokemons out of 10?
I want to say like it's a solid 8.5.
8.5 Pokemons out of 10.
Yep.
8.5 Pokemons out of 10.
8.5 Pokemons out of 10. Tems.
Why do I bother?
I'll leave now.
All right. I like where your head's at.
He's rubbing off on us.
Yep. All right.
Yeah,
so
apparently.
Metal Hellsinger. This was on my list of things I picked, if I recall correctly. Was it not?
Yes.
I believe it is. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was a late edition, but I did pick it.
Was.
I am playing it on Xbox. It is on Game Pass. I did notice it's also on Steam, sitting at a spicy 10 out of 10 on Steam. Here's the thing about Metal Hellsinger. I think you have to have at least a little bit of a like or love for metal music, right? It's the same type of music you would hear when playing Doom, and it plays just like Doom. But it's got that angle of a rhythm game that Barry and I both love to death. And let me tell you something, when you there's like little on your reticle on the screen, there's like little arrows that are coming in, kind of like, you know, like a DDR or something like that, to show you when to hit, but you're also going off of like the beat of the song. And when you start like jumping around and dashing around and shooting demons and reloading on the beat and all that, and you get up to the max combo, which I believe is times 16, and when you get up that high, then the vocals for the song start kicking in. And that's when you hit that like moment when you're like, I feel so cool right now. And like, I'm sitting there like playing, and like, I enjoy that type of music. So I'm sitting there, I'm like, my head's bobbing and I'm just blowing demons apart, switching guns. And like, you know what I mean? There's a decent amount of guns. You have a sword. Your fallback is like a skull that shoots out. You know, you hold the skull in your hand and shoot. I'm having a ton of fun. I think it's a fantastic game. Again, anything rhythm based, I'm going to be like a sucker for. It's not very long. There's like 5 or 6 levels, so you could probably beat it in like 3 or 4 hours. They do have the option when you beat it to like, it's kind of like Halo, where it unlocks different multipliers or whatever that you can add to change the experience for yourself. There's leaderboards for each level, so it'll tell you where you're at. So there is replayability there if you like really want to go back and get like super good and try to keep like that times 16 combo from the moment you start until the end of the level. Like, that's cool to me. But just as like just playing it straight through once, which I did, I thought it was fantastic. Like, super, super fun. Cool. I would be interested to see like somebody who doesn't have a like or love for that type of music. Like, Barry, I don't know if you're into metal at all.
Like, the thing is like new metal for me, definitely, like, I'm not as in.
Sure.
Like, for me, it's more like Metallica, old Avenged Sevenfold, that kind of thing. Like, that's metal, but it's not what metal is now, for sure.
Right. Yeah, I would be interested to see like in your case, like if you play it, right, since it's on Game Pass, and see if it hits as hard, if you have as much fun as I'm having, because I'm having a blast, just absolutely loving it. But yeah, I need like a different opinion of somebody's like, it's okay, like I don't really get into the music. I think you'd still enjoy it even if you're not super into it, just based on the fact of like seeing that, hitting that at the right time, and like all that. Obviously it's a hell-based landscape, a Scorn-based landscape, if you will, if we want to go down that.
Why? How did you do that? How did you just manage to that?
Yes.
So if you,
is it even that looking like Scorn? Like, you bring it up, like, of course, for your
it's like
reference of Scorn.
Yeah, I mean, it reminds me of Doom. It reminds me of like that Scorn, like Skull and Bones, like the demons are kind of gross looking, you know, like that style. But like, I even noticed like lots of torches, right, with flames going, and as you're like the flames are going to the beat of the song too. So like everything around you is just like, you know what I mean, and it's so cool.
Yeah, it's all vibing out. Yeah.
Oh, it's super vibing. So yeah, I would definitely recommend people check it out. Again, it's on Game Pass, so you don't even have to pay anything. But yeah, I don't know. It may end up on my list this year. We'll see.
I remember seeing the trailer and seeing that they had like System of a Down, or like one of the musicians from that. And I don't care who you are, you know.
Yeah.
Well, I don't care who you are, our age, you know, System of a Down.
Yep.
You know, so I was interested to see that. There was a bunch of other names. Some of them I knew, some of them I did not. I've gotten a lot more into metal since like, you know, Leanne's into metal. But I'm not like I'd give it a shot, especially like that's the benefit we talk every week about Game Pass, you know. And it looks good. I just I didn't realize it was that short.
Yeah, it's short. Each level is a song, right? But it's just like playing on a loop, right? And then when you get to that max combo, that's when you get the vocals. But I mean, you could get through each level in probably 15-20 minutes. You know, they're not very long. So yeah, it's not a Doom caliber 8-hour game. It's definitely not. It's more, they're banking on replayability here.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I got 2 here. I guess I'll start with the beta. So if you did pre-order the game on PlayStation, you are one of the people, including myself, who had the opportunity to play the Call of Duty beta for the upcoming Modern Warfare game, and it was great. It was great. Like, I think you guys should be excited for it. Now, it's like any other beta or any other limited release. There was like 3 to 4 levels that you could play as. So the way it works is, I have it up actually right here. PlayStation pre-orders got this weekend. All PlayStation players will get the 18th to the 20th. PlayStation players and Xbox PC pre-orders will get the 22nd to the 23rd, and then everybody gets it 24th to the 26th. So yeah, I got to play it a week earlier. It's kind of like a nice thing, you know, with the pre-order aspect, you kind of feel like it. But the premise with that, or I guess the addendum to that, is the max level for the entire beta is 30, but you are only able to get to level 15 this weekend. So the catch is that you did have 3 levels, which I think, well, 3 levels that we mainly played because we did team deathmatch and domination. Those were the 2 play modes that we were doing. And it was nice playing the game because it's a well done game already, even with the beta. But the problem is that once you got to level 15, you really didn't care as much anymore because there's only 3 levels. You know, it was nice leveling up. They even have like your daily 3 challenges that you hit that every game does, which gives you a crap load of experience points. But then once you hit level 15, there's no reason to do the challenges. The only thing to really do is to practice, I guess, or get better. There was a varied amount of difficulty because you did have the people who clearly own first-person shooters playing, whereas you did have noobs playing as well. So you kind of just got bucketed in with everybody. So you would, you know, be angrily screaming one person's gamer tag name while also making fun of somebody that you've killed like 10 times because they suck. You know what I mean? So like, that was the interesting part, is there was that varied difficulty. I'll tell you though, with that haptic feedback on that controller, ooh, the guns feel great. First thing that I noticed when I went in is that when you're holding that trigger down, that R2 to fire, you got to watch it. Like, they really, like that, the first gun you get, or the first M4, which is what I had when because like you could choose your classes. It's like any other Call of Duty game. There's classes. One of the first ones has the M4, and that thing kicked when I held that trigger down. It also is like no attachments on it, so you know you can add attachments to make it better as you unlock them. But that gun kicked, and it felt like it, you know, with the controller, it felt like that in my hand. So that was a big thing that I liked. The slide, there's like a slide in the game that was hilarious to me because I'm occasionally playing Fortnite again, just like randomly. And the slide felt like a Fortnite slide. We know what that slide feels like. It also like an Apex slide as well. Don't they have like a really longer than humanly possible slide? Yeah. So there's a Call of Duty human possible slide, which was interesting seeing how people were utilizing that. I mean, I know when people are playing these games, especially COD, there's a specific rhythm to going prone versus crouching. Like, the great players know when to do it to literally dodge bullets. But it was interesting seeing people toy with that slide.
Yeah.
Yes.
Bane of my existence.
Yeah, exactly. And but it was interesting seeing people work with that slide to try to figure it out, because when you actually do it, there's no firing while you do it. You have to like kind of like slide, collect yourself, and then shoot. So as far as the level design, really, really well done. There's like a hotel that's clearly like bombed in certain areas. So a nice real interior map which made your airstrikes worthless. But that's something that you know move around while by changing your class or changing your perks and such like that. But they had a good level like that. There's a really cool marketplace level that has it looks really, really good. And I can't wait for you guys to be able to try it because it's good to have. It's a promising Call of Duty, is what I mean. It's a promising looking Call of Duty. It looks like multiplayer is going to be fantastic. So when the betas and as the betas open up to everybody else, I recommend you give it a shot. Why not try it? Our game crashed like maybe 2 or 3 times, but it was really it really synchronized well. They have some great characters to choose from on both sides. And there are perks that you get for unlocking different levels during the beta, and everything from your your charms to different type of weapon, skins, things like that. So there's a whole varied aspect there. Great game. Really excited. That got me pumped. Not as pumped as the God of War trailer would get anybody for God of War, but this beta definitely got me pumped to get the game at the end of October. The other game I played, Steel Rising, it's from the developer Spiders. It is a soul-like set in the Revolutionary War, which intrigued me because actually deep down I'm a history, not buff, but I like history. My dad was really into history, so it wore off on me. It's set in the French Revolution if the French had created robots, automatrons to win the war. So you got a radical tyranny, whatever. You got a radical Louis the whatever who created these automatrons, and it attacked the city of France. You got Marie Antoinette. She has her own automatron bodyguard, and that's who you play. Name's Aegis. And good customizability with her, but it's an easier Souls-like. It's just an easier Souls-like game. It has everything that you could possibly think of. You have your you open up specific areas of the map, and then you have your shortcuts. You have a place where you can level up. But what I like about it, because I've been playing so many Souls-like games in the last year, is it is easier. Like you can pause in the game. There is like an easier, like I played the first boss and he was pretty easy. It's just kind of like a really, really nice setting, really nice gameplay. But if you're looking for something that is an easier or to get you into a Souls-like game, this is something that I would recommend. Definitely. The only things that I can complain about it are that the level design is a little drab. Barry, when you and I were talking about Shin Megami Tensei and all that brown, there's a lot of brown in this game.
Yeah.
And it's kind of, you kind of get turned around because they show you the streets of London and you kind of are working your way through that on foot. And sometimes it just looks a little drab. I'm playing it on, like, I got it through Steam, so I'm playing it on my gaming computer. But if I had to complain about something, it would probably be that. The story's okay. You do meet a lot of people famous people in French history as you play throughout the game. So they kind of just took a bunch of famous French people.
Yeah, Leonardo DiCaprio. Yeah.
Yes. And Leonardo from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and then they incorporate the story around them. So I like it. It's not too hard. One random thing, it took me like 6 game hours to get to the first boss. They do not throw, for a Souls-like game, they don't make the bosses hard, or at least the first one I played. And they didn't throw a bunch at you. Like I was walking around like, am I going to fight somebody who's like, I need to talk to your manager. That's what I felt like. Every time I got to a new person to fight, I was like, I need to speak to your manager because I need to fight somebody like your manager. So I got real Karen with that. But anyway, great game. And if you get it, I don't know if the code is still working, but I got it for Steam for like $39, which was like the perfect price for it. $39, whatever. Because I don't know if I wanted to pay the full thing for it. But when I beat it, I can give you a little bit more, but I'm probably only about 5 hours in anyway. So maybe 6.
So I guess the big question before we end the gaming section is, did you finish Soul Hackers 2?
No.
No.
Look at that.
He froze. No, he froze. We'll wait for him to reconnect.
No.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
As you slowly move out of frame.
Yeah, I know, right? I'm so close, guys. But I mean, there's so many new games.
It's fine. It'll it'll stay unfinished.
We're at the point of no return for almost that game. So now we're going to talk about movies and TV shows. With me, I've been trying to catch up. Like, I did not realize how many things are out right now. Like, I was able to finally catch up on Harley Quinn season 3. Really good. Not as good as season 2. It ranks like season 3 is probably the second best one. And then, like, there's the new episodes of House of Dragons every week. I had to watch. I shouldn't say had to. I watched 4 episodes of Rings of Power now. I'm caught up on that. I'm caught up on JoJo's Stone Ocean, an anime from Netflix. So it's like, I wanted to actually watch movies, and then I ended up just watching TV shows because it took me literally all week to get through all of those TV shows. So it's like, you know, like one of the things that I've been meaning to watch, I've still been meaning to watch, like, what's the movie with Ryan Reynolds and Chris Evans, The Grey's Man?
Yeah.
I still haven't watched that.
Yeah.
I still haven't watched that, and I know it's a good movie.
It's okay.
And I know
it looks
I know it looks fantastic as well.
Yeah.
But it's like, dang, I still need to watch that. I still need to watch Elvis that's on HBO Max. Like, like, man, there are so many things coming out right now. I'm just so overloaded, and like, I want to watch the new Cyberpunk Edge Runners show that came out on Netflix. Because let me tell you, that animation looks gorgeous. But those are what I watched, and because most of the series aren't done, like, not done yet, you know, we just save it for another podcast.
It's true.
Even though, like, I still spent probably, that's 4, 5, 6, and then 12 episodes of JoJo, another 6 hours. I literally spent like 12 hours watching stuff in the past 2 days, and I feel like I haven't watched anything. I feel like I haven't made a dent.
Plus, you still got football on the weekends.
Yeah,
so like it's tough.
Yeah, it's busy season now. Like, I just don't get. And here's a genius idea for all the marketing people out there. During Saturdays and Sundays, nobody cares about your show. Everybody's watching football. That's all anybody wants to watch. Release it when football's not going on. That's all you got to do. Yeah. That saves us from having the stress of not being able to watch everything at once. And then you also aren't competing for football. Because, like, numbers show already, football's the biggest thing in America, like, without question. It's the biggest revenue bringer. So, like, come on, marketing people, these people should know this.
Yeah. I will say that I'm having a hard time motivating myself to watch Rings of Power, and I love Lord of the Rings. It's just something about that show is just boring the hell out of me.
Episodes 3 and 4. Episode 3 and 4. I'm definitely now more into it with episode 3 and 4. Episode 1 and 2 took me
TV shows for me, when people like, I see that, but when people are like, like 3, 4, 5 is when it gets good. It's the same thing when people tell me like, oh, this game's good after like the first 10, 15 hours.
Yeah.
a lot of times I just won't do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I absolutely agree.
Yeah. So like, and like I'm still watching She-Hulk every week. There's I'm almost done with Better Call Saul. But I did watch one movie this week because I've been wanting to knock it off the list. I finally watched Nope.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
yes.
With no spoilers, please tell me what you thought.
Okay. So the honest answer is I don't know. I have a little bit of a worry that Jordan is gonna end up the next M. Night Shyamalan.
Oh no.
Here's the thing.
Oh no.
I watched it, and my wife can attest to this. We both watch it because she's been like super excited to watch this movie as well. I watched it, and the whole time I'm watching it, we're sitting there, and I kept saying it to her. I was like, "This is stupid. Like, this is so dumb. I don't, you know what I mean?" And then the movie ended, and then the next morning I woke up, and I was like, you know what? Maybe it's not, because it's a movie that you have to kind of like think about, right? So the next day you're like, wait a minute, this is okay. I see where he was going with this. he's very good about his movies are always like a metaphor for something else, right? That's just like every single movie is that way, which is cool to me. And I get what he was going for this movie. I'm going to go with, I still don't know. I think it's a good movie. It's not my favorite. I'm still going to say Get Out is the best one for sure. Hands down. I just worry that he's getting, I don't know what the right word to say is, too artistic. Does that make sense?
Too artsy. Yeah,
right.
Too creative.
Like, I don't want to say like too full of himself, because I don't think it's that at all. I just think it's like, I don't know. There's something about it where I was like, this is, it's good. But it's weird. It's really hard to explain, you know? I even went down like a Reddit rabbit hole of like people trying to explain what the meaning is behind the movie. And like a lot of it, when I read some of that, it made my liking and disliking go more on the liking side, because they pointed out some stuff and then I was like, okay, I get it. I get what he was going for. I just didn't see it when I watched it, so I probably have to watch it again, which is never a bad thing when a movie has like replay value for you. It's crazy, it's out there. I mean, it's not a spoiler to say it has to do with aliens, right? It's an alien. I wouldn't say it's a horror movie. It's a sci-fi movie. But yeah, I mean, I can say I enjoyed it. Looking back on it now, it's definitely something I'm going to watch again to kind of figure out my ultimate opinion on it, to see if it belongs on like a top 10 list for me this year. But I would definitely say everybody should at least give it a shot. I'm just hoping that we're not going down the M. Night Shyamalan train with him, because I'll be real sad.
You know what's funny? When you slowly started to get to that point, I was like, I really hope he does it. And you were like, be like M. Night Shyamalan. I'm like, no, that's why I was, because I was worried when I saw the initial trailer that might be the road we're going down. Like, I don't want to believe it, because his first two movies were dope, ironically, you know, and I also think Get Out was the best of the original two. So I want to take a gander at it and then be able to talk to you about it, because like I will watch the next 5 movies he does, but
for sure,
however many he does, but like I really hope he's not going down that road.
Agreed.
I am in kind of a Barry boat, because I took a look back and I was like, oh snap, I haven't been catching up on things. I started House of the Dragon, and that's great. I'm in your boat, Craig, with Lord of the Rings. Like the trailer, I didn't see any episodes yet, but I wasn't intrigued enough to like really get into it, but I'm going to watch it. I just wanted it out of the 2, watch House of the Dragon first. I have to watch the rest of the She-Hulk videos, but I will be caught up / done when that series is done, because that's what I'll just say is it's a funny series, and it's great at the same time.
Yeah.
So they're doing a great job with that. I am excited for a random movie called Fall, which came out in August and will be streaming. It's basically about 2 thrill seekers that climb like an abandoned radio tower. I'm intrigued myself because I'm scared of heights. So I'm watching this movie because I can't live the life of somebody who's not scared of heights by going on roller coasters and things. So I just watch movies where I'm not in any danger, where people are high up, like this movie. So my segue for that is I watched the previous movie, because I can't watch that yet, but I watched a movie called 47 Meters Down, which is done. Yeah. With Mandy Moore. And there's not a wealth of things to say about it. It's a movie with Mandy Moore where she, for those of you who have watched Unfriended, she and the girl from Unfriended sound the same when they're screaming. That's one thing I've randomly noticed. But it's essentially just two sisters. One sister is a lot more adventurous than the other. In the beginning, Mandy Moore's character is not adventurous enough, so her boyfriend basically and her are having problems / leaving her. So to seek a thrill, they go out on a boat with some random guys, which is always how great things start. And they end up getting in one of those classic creeper, like staring at shark cages. Like, I want to see sharks without dying cages. They get in with their scuba gear. The captain of the boat is not questionable, but not like entirely like safe looking to me. He's like, okay. He's like, I wouldn't, I would bring more people with me, but it's okay. You two are together, whatever. But essentially what happens is they get down to a certain depth and the cable snaps and then they go, you guessed it, 47 meters down. Like, so since you guys have seen it clearly by your reactions, it's really funny now that I'm talking about it because number one, when they highlight the actual 47 meters down, because they do that when they go down, they show the meters going down. I'm like, you don't have to do that. Like,
we know where you're going.
Yeah, I was assuming you guys were just like rounding or something. Whatever. Anyway, so I thought there was gonna be more of a shark presence because they looked like some of the shark behaviors were believable, and some of them were like, you guys are just taking like a Jaws shark and making them. I mean, they have to make a movie, so they got to make them like a Jaws shark, which is essentially just like a like a ridiculously aggressive, fixated on killing humanity shark, Man-Eater, the video game, if I may.
Yeah.
So the movie was enjoyable enough. I'm gonna say it's a have on in the background movie. I was trying to focus. I was trying to focus on it. No offense against Mandy Moore, but like she's not gonna drive a movie for me, in terms of her acting skills, so to speak. But they did okay. They did mediocre enough for me to wonder if the girl survived, throughout the movie. That was what they did. And certain things were believable, certain things weren't. And it was a movie. And
that's a fair assumption for that movie. That's how I felt. I'm like, yeah, that was a thing. I watched it.
That was a thing.
Yeah.
But, it'll randomly pop into my head years from now.
Yeah. But they're doing a new movie, and I just wanted to watch that one randomly. I don't know how I haven't seen it, but
I mean, it's forgettable, so
yeah.
The only thing memorable is I was like, oh yeah, Mandy Moore did a horror movie, kind of suspense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's it. That's all I got.
All right, well, that's going to be it for the podcast this week, guys. Thank you for listening. If you're interested, please make sure to email us at highsensitivitypodcast@gmail.com if you're interested in sending us any questions or any hypotheticals or anything like that. If you did like it, please make sure to share it with your friends and review it on your podcast listening platform of choice. And if you're watching on YouTube, please make sure to subscribe and like the video and share it if you liked it as well. Other than that, anybody got any closing statements at all? I think we got everything there.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're good.
Perfect. Well, thank you guys for listening, and we'll see you guys next time.
See you later.
Later.